What's up everybody, Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video with singles spotlight. Got you all singles players, I got you dog. Anyway, we're gonna get right into it. So we're talking about Weavile today, a dark ice type Pokemon introduced in Gen 4. The original Sneasel Boy was introduced in Gen 2. So, you know, he got better. This Pokemon's actually really sweet. It has really good attack, really good speed, pretty solid typing. I mean, it has a lot of weaknesses, but with it being so frail, we just give it Focus Sash and it will get two-shotted by everything anyway, so that's like fine. A lot of time if you use this Pokemon, you'll lead it for a couple of reasons. First off, you can Icy Wind, which is a pretty big use. You can also Surf with Colossal, that's another big use. So we have pretty much those two as our biggest gimmicks today. Switch them out depending on the team you're using with it. Anyway, let's get into it. So immunity to Psychic, pretty good. Resistances to Ice, Ghost, and Dark, that's fine. You know, you can switch in on stuff like that, but then you're gonna die next turn. So just be careful of that. A lot of weaknesses: Fire, Bug, Rock, Steel, Fairy, and 4 times to Fighting. There's a lot of weaknesses. We have things like Mach Punch, Conkeldurr being really annoying for that purpose, since it has Mach Punch and that's priority. It's gonna kill us. So if you take any damage beforehand and they have Conkeldurr, you're gonna die, and that sucks. We have damage calcs for that as well to show that off. We also have speed tier, so look out. If you want to go through, we have timestamps in the description as well, so if you just want to go pick out certain parts, you already looked at the build, you know, go for it. It's fine by me. Anyway, into our stats. So speed 125, really good. That's just really solid. It's a little less than things like Dragapult, but that's really it. You're outspeeding just about everything in the game. You're getting outsped by a lot of Scarf Pokemon with the Focus Sash item. However, if you go Scarf, you outspeed all of them. You outspeed like very huge amount of Pokemon if you go Scarf. Like obviously, you know, your speed is off the charts, so Scarf gives it insane. Anyway, speed 125 is pretty solid. We get a lot of things. We outspeed a lot of stuff. A lot of things will outspeed us, but we go over that. We also have Focus Sash, so things like that we can get a lot of damage in, and then like switch out or still live, and it's good. Attack 120, very good. This Pokemon is fast and strong. Attack 120, speed 125. That is the stats that we're leaning into today. Makes sense, right? As far as our bulk, it's pretty low. It's not the worst, but it's pretty low. 70 HP is not great. 65 defense is also not great. However, 85 special defense is pretty average. It's pretty solid. So you can potentially take those like resistance or 1 times effective special attacks on the head and still be like, okay, that wasn't that bad, which is pretty good. But we have Focus Sash to kind of just lean into our speed and attack, and that's what we're doing. So you'll see that here in a minute. Anyway, into our actual build now. We have Focus Sash and Pressure. The ability Pressure is like pretty not huge, you know. Every time that you get hit, it takes away 2 PP instead of 1 PP. It's fine. It's fine. It's like we don't really care about it too much. It's just fine. That's all it is. Into our moves, we have Icicle Crash, Throat Chop, Fake Out, and Surf. So Icicle Crash and Throat Chop are our stab moves of choice. They're both really good. Throat Chop. What does Throat Chop do? I forget. Hold on. 2 turns, target cannot use sound moves. So it doesn't like really do much. But it's 80, it's stab. You know, could you know... do we actually even have access to Crunch? Because I don't think we'll... Yeah. No Crunch. You know, you could use Foul Play, but then on like certain Pokemon, since it goes off of your opponent's base attack stat, or just attack stat in general, not base stat, it goes off of your opponent's attack stat, so it's good against some Pokemon, it's bad against some Pokemon. You can definitely switch it out if you want to. However, I like Throat Chop because it's consistent, just consistent damage, which is good. That's what we're looking for. Icicle Crash is pretty good. It's also consistent damage. You could use something like Ice Punch. Icicle Crash won't miss. Sometimes it has 90 accuracy, so it's not the most perfect attack, but it has really good damage. It's like 95 base, I think, right? 85 base, 90 accuracy, but it also has a chance of flinching, so that's pretty good, especially on such a fast Pokemon. Having a flinch move is pretty solid, and it's 30%, so it's not like a very low. It's like, you know, that's kind of low, but it is what it is. Then we also have Fake Out, which is good, especially for Pokemon like Whimsicott and stuff. So you get to Fake Out, and then next turn you get to kill it with Icicle Crash, or you can Fake Out and then double target. But if they switch out, then you're like double targeting into something. You know how it'd be. But yeah, Fake Out is a good move. I like it a lot. You can Fake Out, Focus Sash lets us live. You can switch out and then Fake Out again later in the game. Potentially, it's there for like, you know, it's there for a good time, not a long time. Anyway, Surf is for the Colossal combo. Colossal has Steam Engine, so when it gets hit by a water attack, it 4 times speeds, which is really good. You max invest into it, it hits like 80 speed, and then 4 times it, so then you're like super fast. So you hit Surf, and then it activates your weakness policy, so you Dynamax it and Surf. It's really good. That is like a really cool combo. You see it more commonly played with Dragapult now, being like a physical attacking Dragapult with Surf. You want to max invest into other things so that the special attack does your Surf does no damage to your Colossal. That's why we're Jolly. That's not the only reason we're Jolly, because we want to be fastest, obviously. But we are Jolly so that we're minus special attack as well. 0 invested, giving us a really, really weak Surf, which is what we want for proccing that. Now, if you want, you can switch out Surf for Icy Wind if you're not going to use the Colossal combo, if you just want to use Weavile. Or if you want to use Weavile with Dracovish, then yeah, Icy Wind is good. So Icy Wind guarantee lowers the speed stat of both opposing Pokemon, making Dracovish's Rend a little bit more viable. It's already insane, but if you double, then it's insane, and you're doing insane damage. Did I say insane enough? You're doing a lot of damage. Other moves that we have, Ice Shard, that is priority. It is +1, so it's essentially like the same as like a Mach Punch. However, it's not like enough damage. I didn't put it on. You can definitely opt to like put it in instead of like Fake Out or something, but I just think Fake Out's more useful most of the time. We also have access to Brick Break, which is really good breaking screens. Against a Grimmsnarl, they set up Reflect and Light Screen. You just like come in with Brick Break and it's over. Sorry, buddy, you didn't get there. It's really good. Actually, and Brick Break is also super effective against that mon. So, or no, it's 1 times because it's like Dark Fairy, but it like Brick Break is good coverage against a lot of stuff anyway. Things like Excadrill, Tyranitar, you know, a lot of Pokemon it's good against. We also have Taunt, which is good. That's just an option. Since we're so fast, Taunt is like an actual option. So I like just keeping that in mind just in case you want to use it. So yeah, that's the build for the most part. And then we also have Choice Band or Choice Scarf that you can use over Focus Sash if you want to. However, we just went with Focus Sash since we're so since we're not bulky at all. Anyway, into our stats here. So we've got 252 invested in attack and 252 invested into speed, and then Jolly Nature to give it plus speed minus special attack, talking about lowering that Surf as low as possible, as well as making our speed as fast as possible. So that's kind of the whole direction we're going with Weavile. Don't care about how bulky it is, and just being as strong and fast as possible. So into our synergetic Pokemon, we talked about Colossal a little, we talked about Dracovish a little bit, into the Gyarados and Togekiss. So the main reason these are great is it covers your quad fighting weakness. They're both super effective with Max Airstreams, Air Slash, even Bounce. All good against fighting, which is good. It also has solid coverage against all of the other Pokemon, Fire, Bug. You have access to Stone Edge on Gyarados for Bug. You have obviously Waterfall for Fire. You have Power Whip for Rock, and yeah, then Steel is like kind of just there, you know, but it's not super effective against you. Same with Fairy, you know, and yeah. So like overall, those are all pretty good. Gyarados and Togekiss are good for that. They also give a bit of speed control, which is good, especially if you Dynamax it and Max Airstream. Solid stuff. It also gets rid of your fighting Pokemon. That's like the biggest reason. So into our Pokemon that are really good against this combo is, or just this Pokemon in general, is the Conkeldurr with Mach Punch. You'll see in our damage calc, it's brutal. That's like a very low attacking move, and it just kills us, and there's nothing we can do about that. That's a really, really unfortunate Pokemon to face. You want to have something that can knock it out, and that's pretty important. Dragapult, physical has U-turn, and special has Flamethrower. Either way, it deals a lot of damage to Weavile. It's faster. It's just a problem Pokemon in general. Unless you Scarf, then it's not faster, but then you don't have Focus Sash to live it, So it's just a problem, Pokemon in general. Icicle Crash doesn't do enough damage to make us win that matchup. We always lose that matchup, so be careful of that. Excadrill, Tyranitar both have super effective moves against us. They can double Rock Slide, they can Iron Head Rock Slide, they can Iron Head Superpower, they can Superpower Rock Slide. It's just a mess. You don't really want to go up against those. Also, if it's the double combo, if it's the Tyranitar Excadrill will double its speed, being faster than Weavile. If it's Scarf, we're still faster than the Excadrill, but we don't have anything like super effective. If we had Low Kick, so if you use Brick Break or Low Kick, then you do a lot of damage to them. But otherwise, you have a bad matchup with those Pokemon. Anyway, on to our speed tiers here. So our speed tiers are pretty that's annoying. Our speed tiers, click on the face. Our speed tiers are pretty annoying. So we're at 194. This is without Scarf. So if we are Scarfed, we actually surpass every single thing ahead of us, but we die to too much stuff pretty easily. So you kind of have to just weigh that, you know, play a bunch of games with this Pokemon, see which one is actually better, which option is better. I've only used this Pokemon. I've used it on a rental team before with the Colossal, and it was pretty sweet. However, Weavile just dies after, so it's really nice to get that Surf, and if you use Focus Sash, then you get a Surf. Potentially, you get to live and then attack again next turn, which is pretty sweet. So that's why I was liking the Focus Sash. However, Choice Scarf is definitely an option. You outspeed all these things, like I was saying. Anyway, 194. So we outspeed things like Cinderace, which is really good at max speed, max invested. 188 is pretty solid. And we outspeed it, which is really good because that Pokemon does threaten us with Fireball, which is good. High Jump Kick, Pyro Ball, and High Jump Kick. It threatens us a lot. Durant also threatens us a lot. It has access to First Impression, or just Iron Head, just kills us, but we outspeed it, so that's pretty good. However, if they, you know, like priority Tailwind, a lot of Durant leads will involve Whimsicott. You have Fake Out into the Whimsicott, and then you can set your own speed control, but like overall, Durant's pretty problematic. And then we also outspeed Charizard Ninetales. However, like the last one that we were saying, it does come with speed control a lot of the time, so we'll see how like that matchup's not great either. Outspeeding us, however, we do have a lot of stuff. So Milotic, this is a weird calc. So this is max speed Milotic with Adrenaline Orb, so if you intimidate it, it'll outspeed us. You won't see this very frequently. When I was looking at it, I didn't even think about the fact that it was max and speed invested, so you can pretty much ignore that calc. However, I think it's still interesting. I've been seeing Adrenaline Orb on the Milotic, making it a super intimidate counter. It's interesting, but it's weird. Another thing outspeeding us is Chandelore's Scarf. Chandelure has a pretty close to 50-50 split, being Focus Sash and Scarf. So if you see Chandelure, there's a good chance that it's running Scarf, and it's going to outspeed you unless you are Scarfed as well. Galarian Darmanitan's Scarf is going to outspeed you and kill you. Flare Blitz or Superpower is going to just kill you every time, or take you down to your Sash if you're Sashed. Form Changed Rotom's Scarf is going to outspeed you every time. None of them are super scary, except for the fire one, the Rotom Heat. That one is pretty scary. Overheat is going to knock us out or take us down to our Scarf, obviously. Excadrill, Sandrush is obviously outspeeding us, although if we're Scarfed, we still outspeed them, which is pretty interesting. But, yeah, Excadrill is a problem. That's about it for my speed tiers. I guess we'll jump into the damage calcs. So, damage calcs. These are also kind of weird. So, let me go right here. So, Conkeldurr into our Weavile, 252 plus is probably Brave Nature or Adamant Nature. Mach Punch is doing 150 to 184%. That's right. That's a lot of percent. That's going to kill us. Sorry. Although, with Focus Sash, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? If you can knock it out. So if you lead this with the Colossal, you can knock it out. Potentially with the Colossal running the weakness policy, it activates your weakness policy. It's in a good position. However, if you use Scarf, Weavile, you die to this Mach Punch. It kills you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Special attack. So this is a very uninvested Rotom. Heat, Overheat. This is bulky Rotom, Overheat. However, bulky won't outspeed you. It has to have Scarf to outspeed you, so keep that in mind. However, we don't have anything that does a lot of damage. Surf does almost no damage. even though it's super effective, it just doesn't do much damage. It's actually neutral effective, I think, or super effective, I don't know. But this is also in Sun. Why is there in Sun? That's incorrect. I think we'll still, I mean, we still will die to it. However, I don't know why the Sun is set there, so that's pretty dumb. However, it still knocks us out, so like, don't worry about it. It does 132% instead of 179%, so keep that in mind. We still die to it. However, I don't know why I put in Sun there. That was really dumb of me. Anyway, Icicle Crash into Dragapult, guaranteed OHKO 106 to 125%. We can win this matchup. I said earlier that we can't. We can win it. Icicle Crash, I was thinking of Dynamax. So if it's Dynamax Dragapult, we can't kill it. We can't OHKO it. However, Icicle Crash into a regular Dragapult will OHKO, which is really, really interesting. However, Icicle Crash into the Togekiss, probably don't want to do it. Dynamax Togekiss only takes 37 to 45%. We would then proc its weakness policy, making that Pokemon a huge problem, and probably don't want to do that. So if you are completely sure it's not an offensive weakness policy Togekiss, like after the first 2 turns or the first turn, it just uses follow me, and then you proc its weakness policy, and you're like, wow, that sucked. Yeah, be careful, because weakness policy Togekiss still exists, and it will kill you if you proc its weakness policy. Anyway, on to the next one. We have Icicle Crash. No, we don't. That was the last one. Weavile Surf into Colossal in Sun. Why is Sun activated? That's really, really dumb. That's really dumb. I can fix this. I can fix this. Not Sun. Surf. I'm sorry. I'm really dumb. Surf into a Dynamax does 14 to 17%. So it's not possibly the worst move ever, but it's not possibly the best move ever. It will do very, very little percent, 14 to 17%, and then activate our speed. Steam engine. I couldn't think of the word. Then it activates our steam engine, making us really strong, proccing our weakness policy, making this Colossal really do a lot of damage and really fast, which is really good. And onto our last one, 252 attack. Weavile Icicle Crash into the Whimsicott, guaranteed OHKO. Oh, you couldn't guess that, I bet. This is without any investments, so you could have guessed that, is what I'm saying. And onto our last slide here. This is Single Spotlight. Of course, I'm going to be doing Single Spotlight. I'm going to do it every time now. I'm going to hold that to my word every time that I remember, because I forget some stuff. I'm human. I'm human too. Anyway, Single Spotlight for Weavile. This Pokemon's actually really interesting in singles. Choice Scarf is of choice here. Choice Scarf is really good. It makes it really fast. You get to outspeed and kill a lot more Pokemon in singles. You outspeed and kill the same amount in doubles. However, it's singles. So this Pokemon comes in. It's a revenge killer. A lot of the time, you'll have your guy die, maybe to a boosted attack. So a Pokemon like Bisharp using Swords Dance, it kills your guy, and then you're like, all right, Weavile time. You bring in Weavile, low kick, that's a dead boy. You're faster than just about everything. Choice Scarf Weavile is insanely fast. You outspeed a lot of stuff. You outspeed Dragapults. You outspeed +1 Pokemon all over the place. It's really, really good and really fast. So Choice Scarf, we go Pressure ability. It's the only good one. Pickpocket kind of sucks. Yeah. Icicle Crash, Throat Chop, Foul Play, Low Kick is the choice set here. This is pretty much directly from Smogon. It's a good set. It's definitely just like pretty basic. Foul Play gives us a lot of ways of killing boosted stuff, things like Gyarados that boost up, things like Mimikyu, Swords Dance, boost up. Foul Play kills you, which is good. Low Kick kills a lot of other threats, things like Darmanitan, things like Tyranitar, things like Bisharp. Kills a lot of threats, which is good. Throat Chop is just solid damage. Same with Icicle Crash. Icicle Crash is a good way of killing a lot of dragons, things like Dragapult, Noivern, making our Hydreigon really powerful. Max invest into attack and speed. Jolly Nature, nothing changes from our first build. This is just the best way to play Weavile. You lean into its good stats. That's what we're doing. Anyway, into our synergetic Pokemon, we have Mandibuzz here. Mandibuzz is good for a few reasons. It tanks all fighting attacks, which is good for our quad weak Weavile. So if they bring out something that has fighting, you can definitely just switch into Mandibuzz. It takes attacks really easily. It can remove any entry hazards. It has access to Defog. It's a pretty good Pokemon in general. It has access to Taunt, Knock Off. It can be a really good supportive role Pokemon after that, which is pretty solid. We also have Bisharp here. Bisharp takes care of all the fairies that Weavile might have to deal with. Fairies are pretty scary with Weavile. We don't have any great moves. We don't have any good spread against fairies, which is pretty unfortunate. However, Bisharp can really take care of those Pokemon, which is good. We also have Hydreigon here. Since Hydreigon kind of just can't really deal with faster dragons, like things like Dragapult. I'm sure Dragapult has like Scarf in this in singles or something, or if you use Scarf on Weavile, obviously you can't have Scarf on the Hydreigon as well. So Hydreigon has a hard time dealing with things like the Noivern or Dragapult. You get to bring in Weavile and Icicle Crash, just kill everything. Even if they kill your Hydreigon, we get to a guaranteed knockout next turn with the Icicle Crash. Maybe not guaranteed if they switch out, but we still do a lot of damage with the Icicle Crash, or if we can read that and pull out like a Low Kick or Throat Chop or something, or even Foul Play. It's just really good in general. Having all of these Pokemon is really, really solid. We have another thing that we can do, which is T-Tar. T-Tar is, I didn't put it under Synergetic, but it is Synergetic. It has access to stones, so it can set up some entry hazards to make Weavile kind of just sweep, kind of just do a little bit of chip damage so that Weavile can come in and just kill everything. It puts it in Weavile range, which is really good. It also is a really good typing to cover our fire weakness. So essentially with the Mandibuzz, Bisharp, Hydreigon, Tyranitar, you can really cover just about every weakness that Weavile has, while Weavile helps cover up every single weakness that the other Pokemon have. It's in general just a pretty solid little team strat that you can do. Well, Weavile is pretty solid for that. Anyway, that's going to be about it for our video today, single spotlight. Overall, Weavile is pretty sweet. It's pretty fast. It's pretty good. Pretty strong. Has a couple of good key synergies with Dracovish, Icy Wind, and Colossal Surf, setting off both of those Pokemon into their best abilities. That's pretty good. And in singles, Weavile has a bunch of Pokemon that can really cover its weaknesses. It can cover a lot of Pokemon's weaknesses as well, making Weavile a pretty strong partner in a couple of scenarios. So, yeah. I like Weavile. He's cool. Anyway, that's about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, thank you so much. Leave a like and subscribe. You mean the world to me. Thank you so much, and goodbye.